Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here from Miss Carrie's Creations. Today I'm going to show you how to elevate your stamped images using simple techniques. Today I will be working with the November main kit, which is filled with lovely holiday and winter patterns and prints. I will also be using the Pocket Life stamp set, number stamp set, and items from the color kit today. I can't wait to share this with you. On my desk I have the November main kit from HKC Club. This collection includes an adorable assortment of holiday and winter patterns, window die-cut specialty paper, cardstock ephemera with silver foil accents, layered dimensional embellishments, puffy phrases, puffy alphabet stickers, and some trim and wood buttons. To my project, I will also be adding stamped images from the Pocket Life stamp set and this new large number stamp set. These number images coordinate perfectly with the number background stamp from September. As I create the project today, I'll bring in a few additional items from the Feeling Jolly kit, and I'll list those in the description below along with a link to this kit. This year I'm creating an album for our daughter and son, recording their first Christmas together as a married couple. The album is 6 inches by 12 inches, so I have cut a piece of the Holly Jolly pattern in half to create a frame around some latte texture cardstock. This has got to be one of my favorite cardstock colors in the pack. If it were available as part of a staple pack on the HKC site, I would be one who would stock up on it. I'm going to use the Do-Si-Do ink to stamp my floral images. This ink pad comes with this month's color kit. I'm going to stamp a couple more florals in the It's a Girl ink. This is a lighter shade of pink that came from an earlier color kit. The final floral piece I want to bring in is this second floral layer from the PL stamp set. Vellum can be a little tricky to heat emboss. It can be very staticky, so I always use an anti-static powder over it before I stamp. I'm going to stamp the images in stages. Embossing ink tends to dry quickly on the vellum that I have, so I like to stamp a few images with the clear ink, apply powder, heat set it, then stamp a few more. Because the kit has quite a few silver accents, I'm going to use a silver embossing powder to match. Once the excess powder is removed, I can heat set this. This is where you need to be extra careful. Vellum can burn quickly and begins to warp when too much heat is applied. Make sure that you continue to move the vellum so that nothing is overheated or burnt. Now that all the images are stamped, I want to show you how to add some texture and shine to these images. I want to make this first flower multicolored, so I'm going to bring in some ruby spritz from the color kit. I'm going to splatter this onto the stamped flowers. Don't worry about perfection here. The goal is just to add a little sparkle and coloration to the image. As you can see, there's quite a contrast between the two colors, so I'm going to bring in another variation of color with water. I'm just going to spritz a little bit of water over this and let it set a moment. This ink is water reactive, and the color is going to soften as the water droplets soak in. As I remove the excess water, you'll be able to see that lovely variation. Isn't it beautiful? All right, on the other set of flowers, I want to add a little sparkle. So I'm going to bring in a layer of the Stardust butter. This is another fun item that comes with the color kit. It has such a beautiful translucent sparkle. Let me hold this up to the camera so that you can see. All right, I'm going to show you one more way to add a little texture to these. I'm going to add some lines of thread. With a die release tool, I'm poking holes in the center of the flower, and then I'm going to add one at the top of each petal. Let me show you how to make this simple stitch. We're going to bring that needle up through that center hole, then go back down through the top of the petal. This creates a really simple stitch that doesn't take time at all. You're going to repeat this on the second petal. Again, come up through the center, then back down through the second petal. Continue the stitch over each one of the petals. Now don't worry about the center looking messy. You can cover that up with a button, a sequence, a pearl, or another stamped image. All right, I'm going to finish this up, cut out the flowers, and show you how the layout comes together. The photos are ones our daughter took of a special decoration they received for their first home. When she shared the photos with me, I was reminded of our first Christmas as a married couple over 30 years ago. So much of our Christmas decor has changed since then, and I don't have much of what little we had that first year. I wish we had taken photos of our first tree that leaned so much we had to tie it to a door with a fishing line to keep it from falling over. Now, I know you all have memories of those first Christmases after you left home, and I really hope that she cherishes the ones that I'm trying to save for her today. As I've been chatting, I started to lay out paper pattern strips. These are from a variety of patterns and cardstock colors in that November kit. I'm trying to lay them out in a sort of pattern that will work well with the photos and the other items I'm going to add to the layout. Now I'm going to go off camera and finish these up and add a little bit of stitching. Here's what these look like with some stitching at the top. I did attach those two pages together with repositionable tape so that I could sew one continuous line with my sewing machine. The two pages are attached together, so I just need to cut this thread right here, then lay some tape over the end so the stitches don't come undone. Over here I have a little bin of the completed florals and some foliage that I'll be adding to the page. Take a look at these little pink flowers with the sparkles and stitching. I did add more stitch lines to that top layer, which is simple to do using the techniques I shared with you. It adds some great details to your flowers. These darker florals with the silver vellum are so pretty. I created them with two stamped layers and the vellum layer over the top. In the center of each flower, I added another silver accent to match the other silver embellishments. I also cut out some pine boughs and mistletoe leaves. I cut these out using the spruce and holly die set out of evergreen and hollybush cardstock. I am going to start with a tree over here on the right from that cardstock die cut collection. There are silver accents on these die cuts which go well with the florals I created. Below the tree, I'm going to bring in some floral layers. I like to place most of my elements near that focal point of my page. This not only emphasizes my primary photo, it also helps with the story I'm trying to tell. Starting with a larger embellishment cluster also helps me decide what I want to include in the other two clusters that will eventually form my visual triangle. I'm also one who prefers to use odd numbers on my project. For this page, I created 2 darker flowers and 3 lighter ones. This gives me 5 total. I made sure to place one of the lighter pink florals in that large cluster so that I could add the other 2 throughout the page. This not only brought balance to my layout, it also brings focus back to the photo. As I finish adding these to the pages, I would love it if you tap that subscribe button and let me know that you're new here. If you're already a subscriber, let me know that you enjoyed today's project by tapping the thumbs up icon or leaving me a comment below. I would love to know if you have been inspired to create a few stamped florals on your next project. At this point, I feel like the page is missing something and I can't quite figure out what it is. I'm just going to lay out some of the silver and white twine in a bow shape. This twine is part of the trim kit in the collection. I think this is just what the page needed, so I'm going to add another bow shape over here on the left. Now I also want to add some type of twine over back on the right, but this is going to be a little trickier because I glued those flowers down. I added some at the top and near the bottom. This brought some great texture to the page and I love how it looks. All right, the last item we're going to add is the title. I'm going to use the new number stamps for this. With the midnight ink, I'm going to stamp first over here on the far left. I want this to have more of a distressed look, so I'm not going to add much ink to the stamp. If you don't like this look, you can also re-ink the stamp and create a darker image. Below the 1, I'm going to lay out the word Christmas from the puffy sticker set. This is just going to line up here along the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and finish all of this off camera so that we can take a look at the completed page. These 2 pages were created to record a memory of a couple's first Christmas. Most of the items I used are from the November main kit from HKC Club. If you are a member, you save $5 on the monthly kit and 15% on coordinating items, and those will ship free with your main kit. So if you want to grab yourself one of the new stamp sets or those sweet little dies, it's worth becoming a member. If you'd like to learn more, I have added details in the description below. I want to thank you for joining me for another scrapbook project. If you'd like to see more of my creations, you can visit my channel or follow Miss Carrie's Creations online. If you have any questions about this project or supplies listed below, feel free to leave me a comment. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.